So, what a start to Harem in Labyrinth in Another World. This anime follows a character named Michio Kaga. And essentially, based on the description my prior knowledge to coming into this, is essentially he's this dude who's just very unhappy with life, probably bullied, probably just like not having a good time, not enjoying high school, probably not the most popular kid. Basically, just like your average mob character or average background character that's pretty insignificant. That's all cool and dandy. Essentially, this kid one day, through his onlineness, probably through some 4chan, Reddit, kind of website, goes on and finds a game. And the game warns him of, hey, if you participate in this online game, this VR game, whatever, you're never going to return to your standard way of living. You're never going to return to this world. And he's like, yep, that's me, champ. And essentially, he finds himself warped or waking up inside of another world, and he has a bunch of different VR-type elements surrounded by him. So we have to assume that in the world that he lives in, is very much like SAO, like, Link Start. That it's very much a world to where this kind of like VR realism is pretty commonplace. Otherwise, he wouldn't be reacting the way that he reacted, where he was like, oh, they even got my toe mole. Like he was very like, oh, this is they really went up and beyond here. I wish they gave me shoes. Oh, there's some shoes right there. So you have to assume that it's pretty commonplace for VR to be, fairly realistic in the world that he comes from, whatever year it is, 2090 or, 2030 or whatever, or 2021 or 22 like SAO was. But whatever it is, the version of his world has pretty realistic VR. So he gets bopped and booped and into this world, and he goes through a bunch of different commands. He finds out that he has a appraisal ability. He appraises himself, appraises things around him. He finds the weapon. He finds some shoes, and he's immediately kicked off to the first event. And this is where I was like, holy shit. He kicked off to the first event where bandits are invading the town that he woke up in for whatever reason, and he goes and he's like, well, these dudes, these people, the villagers, they're about to be killed. Let me go help them. And he immediately goes, he's like, that commander there, I think I could just one-shot him from the back. He ain't even looking. So he goes and he takes off his head. I mean, clean takes off his head, and blood splatters everywhere. He's like, ugh, this is some realistic splatter, in this video game. And because he's had some decent knowledge with kendo, which it seems like every person in Japan, which is definitely not the case. Every person in these Japanese anime, they take kendo. They're like, oh, I've been taking kendo since I was 4. It must be anyways, he has pretty good kendo knowledge, and he slices and dices everybody because they have very awful moves. Like they're uncoordinated. So he slices and dices all these bandits, and he completely just murders them. And it's a bloody, gory scene, and I was like, holy crap, this enemy's really going there. And he's still passing everything off as a game. Eventually, he figures out it's not a game world. He can't leave. He remembers what happened, and he starts dealing with that realism, and he's just like, well, F it. I already killed these dudes. I'm going to have to just live with that mistake and push forward. Goes, finds a really good, the town person leads him. He gets a place to stay, gets some money, finds a slave trader, and the slave trader basically gives him the best salesman pitch ever to get a slave to buy a slave. It's this big booby girl, and he's on his way. Now we're gonna get to continue his adventure with him trying to earn enough cash to go and buy the big booby slave girl. So this isn't exactly masterpiece level, and with a name, again, and I will reiterate the name for everybody, with a name like Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World, we knew this is going to be very much like, what was that anime called? There was The Dungeon. There was a dungeon one a couple of seasons ago, like a one about a dungeon where this dude basically goes in a dungeon and he kisses some girl who's there, and he kisses his friend, and he is all-knowing, whatever. It was some dungeon crap anime, some dungeon harem anime. This reminds me of that specific one. This is not going to blow the socks off anybody, and I don't really know if I can recommend it either. So far, just watching one episode is definitely not enough. I think this is definitely one of those, me and you, we need to give it the 3-episode rule, and we need to watch this for 3 episodes and then really determine, like, hey, is this something worth our time? Because in the reality, and I have it on the board over here, these are all the different anime that I have this season. So in just looking, we have Overlord Season 4, Classroom of the Elite, Devil's a Part-Time, Is It a Wrong to Pick Up? And these are just the ones that I'm planning to cover on the channel in some capacity, whether I do every single week or one video. But Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in Dungeon? A couple of Cuckoos is continuing. My Isekai Life, Harem and Labyrinth, Call of the Night, Vermilion and Gold, which is really, really good. My Stepmom's Daughter's My Ex, Black Summoner, When Will Aomo Kiss Me, Parallel World, Uncle from Another World, The Maid I Hired, and then we have Shikamori-san. So, like, dude, there's 16 anime, you know what I mean? So, like, don't feel bad if you hated this episode. Don't feel bad if you want to give it 3 episodes and then drop it, because there's so many effing freaking ass good anime this season. Like, we should not feel bad. Like, this is pretty standard for the part. Now, I'm pretty interested in it, and I'm going to give it 3 episodes as well. Depending on how this video does, will depend on if we keep covering it on the channel. If you guys really respond and I get a lot of views on this one, then we'll continue it every single week, and I'll put this one up there. But overall, so far, we have Michio as a character. I like that he's just driven by titty McGiddies. You know what I mean? I like that he's just driven by, like, just his lust. He was immediately enthralled and interested when the dude mentioned a brothel, and he was like, "Oh yeah, let's go." I like how they keep showing us censored, potentially uncensored images. I like that we got from starting in village to town pretty quickly, and I like that he was now given a goal, which is, hey, come up with 400 and some odd thousand whatever gold the currency is. He currently has 30,000, so go get these 400,000, come back and buy this slave girl. And I also like how the slave trader is using him to go and conquer the labyrinth there, which will be good for him, because if he can do it, he's going to get a lot of really cool items, and he'll get a lot of cool stuff as an adventurer, and he'll help the town, and he'll earn a little bit of coin as well. So I'm interested to see where this anime goes. Do I think it's going to be great? Do I think out of the 16, 15 anime that I mentioned, do I think it's going to be like top tier? No, but it does have potential. So I think that we give it the 3 episodes and we see how we feel. And episode 2 might blow us out the water, and it might be really funny too. If we get some really good laughs out of it, if it ends up being like really cheesy, but it understands that it doesn't want to be taken serious, it's just a harem anime and it just has some funny moments, I think it'll be really good and it'll be really outstanding. But let me know what you think about episode number 1 so far. I'm interested to chat with you in the comments. Let me know what you think about the wolf girl that they introduced. Let me know what you think about Michio as a character. Let me know if you like where you see it going potentially, or let me know if you hated it. And if you did hate it, why did you hate it? Tell me in the comments below. But let's talk more down there. And thank you for joining me for episode 1. This was my review. My review is 6 out of 10. So let's see where this goes. All right, my friends, I'm going to see you guys on the next episode, because we will give it the 3 episodes at least. All right, we'll see you in the next one. Peace.